Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Welcome to another episode of Stay Rad Wine Blog TV. The last time I saw you, I asked you to give me your request. Let me know what you want to try and I will review it for you. So today is a by request episode, kind of. I saw in the comments last week that Wine Geek suggested I try the Columbia Crest Two Vines Shiraz, and I said to myself, I know Columbia Crest Two Vines. I'm a big fan of that stuff. I didn't even know they made Shiraz, which is odd in general because normally Shiraz is a term referred or saved or used by Australian Syrah makers. They call Syrah Shiraz over there. And although there are some producers in the United States that use Shiraz, it's really few and far between. Most of them just call it Syrah. And so I thought it odd that Columbia Crest, a winery in Washington, was going to call their Syrah Shiraz. But I said, whatever. So I go to the Safeway, and I'm looking, and I don't see any Two Vines anywhere, and I know that they've had it there, so I don't know if the Two Vines hadn't been selling that much there or what's going on, but I was kind of, put on, I was feeling very rushed, right, kind of like I am right now. And so I said, I got to get something. I want to do an episode on this Wine Wednesday. And so I was just looking around, and a couple things struck my fancy, but I just kept thinking Shiraz. Shiraz from the United States. And sure enough, in the Syrah section, Ravenswood. Typically, they're more known for their Zinfandels. They make some, nice entry-level stuff. They also do some really good, single vineyard Zinfandels. But sure enough, they make a California Shiraz in their Vintners Blend series. It's this one I got for I think $6.50, so not that expensive at all, and kind of an entry-level Shiraz. They call it their California style of the Aussie version of Syrah. That's what it says on the back of the label. I thought that was kind of cute. So I got their 2010 Shiraz here, but when I was looking at the back label, I don't know if you're like me, but whenever I see a label kind of peeling off right there, I know it doesn't affect what's in the wine in the back, but I just think to myself, why don't I buy a bottle with a label that's all the way stuck on? So I pull this bottle back, and behind it is the Ravenswood Vintners Blend 2010 California Petite Shiraz. And I thought to myself, a lot of times people that don't know a whole lot about wine will get the terms Syrah and Petite Shiraz confused. They think that they're the same grape or that they're related, and they're not at all. They're not even spelled the same. But I just thought it interesting. When you've got a Shiraz, how do you confuse that with a Petite Shiraz? It's not anywhere close. But I figured, what the hell? They were both $6.50, so why not buy both of them and give them a try for you guys? So we're going to start with the Shiraz. We're going to assume that the Shiraz is a much lighter style than that Petite Shiraz. Just pouring out a little, because I don't have a spit bucket, so unfortunately I'm going to have to drink it all. So this is that 2010 Shiraz. Again, it's just Syrah from California. It's a nice, burgundy type of color. I can see my fingers a little bit through that wine there, through that glass. And as I get my nose in there, the oak really is coming through right here. I felt like I've gotten pretty good at picking out California Syrah in blind tastings. And this is giving that, not overly oaked, but for some reason Syrah really highlights the oak when they're in that, $20 and below type of range. I just tend to sense that quite a bit. So I'm getting that oak. It's French oak, 40% new. That's from the label. I didn't just think that up. And I am getting some plummy characteristics. I am getting like some meat, some charcuterie type of aromas there. A little like cranberry, a little maybe like blueberry on there too. So I mean the nose is kind of interesting there. And on the palate, it's really the bright red fruits that are coming out. I'm getting that cranberry. I'm getting a little bit of raspberry. It's a little bit candy-fied, but it's not done obnoxiously so. Nice long acidity. Good structure to this. This is not something that you're going to lay down for 5-10 years. This is something that, is meant to be bought and then subsequently consumed within the same lunar cycle. Really just a nice quality, I would say richer than most weekday type of wines. And I think it's bringing some good quality. Off the bat, I'm going to say this is like a 87 and well worth your $6.50. Now let's try this Petite Shiraz. And I got to be honest, I'm a little bit fearful when I get into a Petite Shiraz at, the $6 range because honestly, Petite Shiraz, one of my favorite grapes when done right. I'm really upset that I missed that Petite Shiraz festival that happened a couple weeks ago. Martin Redmond from Enophile's wine blog did a really good job of kind of recapping that. I was unfortunately in Cabo San Lucas, so I missed it. But Petite Shiraz, when done well, is just awesome. But when there's not a lot of love, not a lot of care put into it, a really big, bold grape can actually come off as being kind of thin, if you know what I mean. Let's try this out, though. I mean, let's keep an open mind for this Ravenswood Vintner's Blend. Vintner's Blend 2010 California Petite Shiraz. Now again, I'm not sure if you guys are noticing, I definitely am. The color, much more dense, much more dark. You can't see anything through this. This is just straight ink. And that's what you would expect out of a Petite Shiraz. Really small grapes, really dark, really concentrated. Nose a little bit tighter. There is a little bit of that oak showing up. I am getting a little bit of like a chalky type of presence, which is something that's really nice that we do find in a lot of the really well-made Petite Shiraz. I am getting like a really just condensed plummy and blackberry type of aroma as well. And on the palate, it is very big. It's very explosive at first, but, like I said, this is something that can kind of disappear on you. And this Petite Shiraz, while it does carry some good acidity with it, it's finishing kind of thin. And so that's the thing that kind of bums me out. Let me get back into it and just talk to you about the fruit flavors and such. It's almost kind of like you looked at the plum. It looked delicious, right? You smelled it. It smelled great. And then you take a bite out of that plum, and it's just not ripe. There's definitely a lot of greenness to this plummy type of fruit that's there. Now, understand, I like green aspects in my wine, but an unripe plum is not necessarily what I would gravitate towards. And so, you know, it seems like much of what I have feared has come to be. This is definitely just not really that tasty. I mean, it's something that I open the bottle over the course of the next couple of days. Kara and I will consume what's in this bottle. We have to, we must. But I do have to say that it really just dies quickly. There are some nice tannins there, but there's really not enough fruit, not enough complexity, not enough of anything to really make you want to go and buy it again. I don't necessarily think that I was ripped off at $6.50. It's kind of what I expected, and unfortunately what I expected was 82 points. So, I mean, you can find some really awesome, really good examples of Petite Shiraz. When you go to those higher price points, I'm not saying that you couldn't find a nice example of Petite Shiraz that's cheaper, but I haven't found any yet. So, I guess maybe my question for you is, what's your best bargain Petite Shiraz? I don't even know if they're out there that you would recommend, but let me know if you know of any. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, everybody, stay rad.